So I had so much fun doing the last Behind the Decks with Tozer that I thought maybe I should keep that concept going and see what it's like recording something like that when I'm at a venue. So I had the opportunity at Harder Than the Rest to catch up with a few of the artists as well as Daniel, the promoter himself, to get a bit of insight into what it's like to put on a party like that, but also for the artists themselves, what it's like to play at the party, but to also prep and get ready for something like this. So this is Behind the Decks with Hakken Entertainment, Artifact, and SoundZero. I'm here with Daniel, who is a part of Hakken Entertainment, who so far has brought us Hackfest, Rewind, and now Harder Than the Rest. So Daniel, tell me a little bit about yourself from the very beginning. Where did your love of the music start?
So for me, it started in 2010 in the euphoric hardstyle classic kind of era now that we call it, hardstyle classic. I started listening to more of your Code Black, Audio Freak, Tone Shifters, started with the Australian legends there. Scope DJ, Omega Types, who we hosted at Rewind, Neilio, The Vision, David Sonar. That's where I started kind of the euphoric hardstyle classic kind of era. In 2010 to 2014 was that peak euphoric period. And then the music kind of progressed more into raw style. That's where I started listening into more Chain Reaction, more Subsonic, into the 2015, 2016 era of kind of what we call raw classic now. Digital Minds in that era, also Artifact, who's playing tonight at Harder Than the Rest, which is, pretty special, doing end-of-line classics for 90 minutes. Then also you got DJ Luna, you got all those kind of legends from that era, in the raw style era, and then also progressing into more hardcore in the 2017, 2018 era of the mainstream. So you had Deadly Guns coming into the scene then, you had Never Surrender, who we hosted at Hackfest, which is awesome. You also had early up-tempo in that period, which was Unproven we had. We also got F-Noise tonight performing early up-tempo at Harder Than the Rest. Party Razor's a mad name, everyone knows who Party Razor is, one of the legends. But also in that Millennium era, we've got CatScan, who's here tonight at Harder Than the Rest. We've also got DJ Predator in that era of Millennium Hardcore and early hardcore, performing 30 years special tonight at Harder Than the Rest, with your host MC Pez. We've got Sakira as well. So new gen era now, from 2020 upwards into 2026 where we are today, which is more predominant as a more new up-tempo era. So then you got F-Noise again, but he's performing an old to new set, so he's going to play his new tracks, go from old to new and like a journey kind of set. But also Sakira, who's producing new Millennium in this new era, so she's got a bit of OG stuff from before COVID into now with the new kind of Millennium she's doing as well. Also, you got the legends like CatScan and Predator, who are still producing today, which they're producing new Millennium. So for future events, we've got more up-tempo as well with some other legends soon to be announced. But so my journey started in 2010, up into 2026 now, with 16 years experience of all these genres. Started with hardstyle classic and progressed all the way to up-tempo, but also I listened to some other crazy stuff like Terrorcore. Maybe not for Australia yet. I don't know if you fans want to hear it.
Do you guys want to hear Terrorcore in Australia? That is the question.
Let me know if you do. I will bring it, believe me.
So we've gone on a wild journey through your whole arsenal of sounds from start to finish. Now, tell me something about what brought you into producing events here in Australia. What do you want to achieve that is different from everything else that is happening right now?
So right now there's kind of a gap in the market for raw style in a more hard kick predominant kind of way, like how we used to have it before COVID. We don't really get those kind of parties and sounds nowadays. Raw style's kind of changed in a way, but I want to bring that kind of other sound back that people really want, but nobody really brings it here. So that's why we started Hackfest off with Chain Reaction and Subsonic, to bring that kind of OG raw vibe back. And the crowd loved it as you hosted it.
They did. It was a great night.
The first event, Hackfest, everyone still talks about it. It was amazing. People still come up to me in the crowd tonight at Harder Than the Rest going, Hackfest, now you got Harder Than the Rest, I don't know what's next. But so also doing these parties as well, I wanted to do a bit more mainstream hardcore kind of vibe as well. That's why we brought Never Surrender out for the first time, his debut. I still can't believe I brought him out here after so long. Also Unproven debuting with Up-Tempo, so I wanted to change the market in a way kind of thing, bring all genres together in a way, because with Hackfest as well, we had locals performing hardstyle classics, shout out Barbs. But so a bit of everything in a vibe, with what Hackfest was that you hosted. So a bit of everything in a way. I'm trying to educate the new generation as well on different artists, because in Australia here, we get the same artists on repeat. And what I've showcased now with these 3 events, no recycled lineups from these 3 events and onwards to what I'm bringing out later on this year. I'm not recycling any artists. There's a lot of talent that never gets brought to Australia that needs to come here, but I'm willing to take that risk and showcase new artists and new genres and different sounds to the crowd here, you know, and they're loving it so far, which is excellent to see. I'm so happy with the feedback I've had from, you know, everyone saying like, this is so refreshing, your lineups are really refreshing, it's so good to see and hear new genres and different artists, and they want to be educated. So I'm willing to do that with my 16 years experience. I'm willing to bring, you know, different artists, create that event vibe, make it something for everyone in a way, and, you know, make the whole crowd vibe to all different genres. Like tonight, OG hardcore from the 90s with Predator, and I've also got raw style from today's era, but I'm bringing in those OG gabbers to kind of appreciate new gen raw style, and they're down there and they're loving it, which is crazy. I'm very happy to see that, you know, because they predominantly don't really like raw style, you know, they're like, I don't know about that genre, but they're here tonight and they're hearing it for the first time and a different vibe, and they're really enjoying it, they're taking it on, which is surprising to see, you know, like,
that's good.
Like I said, I'm here to educate people as well on different genres and different artists that they don't know of.
Yep.
And, you know, so far so good, the feedback's been excellent from every event, and again tonight, harder than the rest, the crowd have been loving it, you know, so.
If we can sign off just saying one last thing to the Sydney crowd, what would you have to say to the people who are here tonight and the people who have missed out tonight that you would like to get to one of your shows?
If you've got any friends who have attended a Hakken Entertainment event, ask them on what their experience was like at one of the events, which was Hackfest or Rewind or Harder Than the Rest, and you can make your decision from there, you know what I mean? Like, I'm keen to bring in new people as well, and I'm happy to see there's a lot of new people who have come in tonight for their first time at a Hakken Entertainment event. They've seen Hackfest and they've seen Rewind and they thought, I've got to see what this is about, you know? I've seen lots of social media, lots of posts, you know, and they're thinking this is a bit of a different vibe to everything else going on at the moment. And, you know, so far, again, with the people who have come tonight for the first time, they're so happy. They're like, you've done a really good job again, you know? I'm so keen to see Hakken Entertainment grow. And, you know, whatever the future holds, we're here for it. That's what the people have been telling me, which I am so grateful for. Thank you, because I'm going to continue to keep putting on these parties and giving you, the people, what you want in all different genres, in all different formats, different event vibes, different feelings of the music, because I live and breathe the music, but now I'm starting to do these events and I want to give back to the people on what I know with the music and 16 years experience of it.
What a way to wrap things up. We want to thank everyone who was here tonight at Harder Than the Rest. Daniel, I appreciate the effort that you've put into your party, and I'm sure Sydney, you appreciate it too. We will see you here tonight and at many more to come.
See us very soon for some more events featuring your host, MC Pez. Ciao.
Artifact, how was your set in Sydney after so long since the last time
It was crazy, man. I was playing the classics and I was wondering, do the people here know the end of line classics? But everybody knew every melody and every word. People loved it, so I loved it too. I'm glad I had 1.5 hours to play, so a bit longer, so I could play a lot of tracks. So yeah, I loved every second.
There was a few songs there which I haven't heard for quite a lot of years. A lot of the classics, unfortunately, just get washed away by the saturation of new releases.
Yep.
How do you feel as an artist with the music that you've made in the past versus the music that you're trying to continue to make in the future?
Well, I think hardstyle is having all these subgenres now, and people are starting to appreciate the classics more and more. So the classics parties are getting really big in the Netherlands right now. So that gives me the chance to play the classics again. A lot of parties.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like the old vibe. I like the people singing all the melodies. You know, not just noise, but cool melodies, vibe in the track, and raw hardstyle as I got to know it.
Yeah. Favorite era, if you had to pick, of hardstyle, and then I want to ask you about raw style. So let's start with hardstyle. Your favorite era of hardstyle music?
That would be, I think, around 2010 till 2015.
Yep. And your favorite era of raw style? The evolution?
Maybe the same, maybe a bit later. So I think 2012 till 2017 were peak raw style years.
Yeah.
And then for me, hardstyle years, just a little bit earlier were also really good, but raw hardstyle, peaked a little bit later.
Yeah.
But still, I love the sound now. Some tracks are way too hard for me, but that's okay. You know, style evolves, and you gotta appreciate that.
Yep.
And you can't like every track that's released. So yeah,
that's fair. And if you could say one final word to the Sydney crowd from your show today or your past experiences, what would you say to the Sydney crowd?
I would just say thanks a lot for being there. If you were not there, I hope that you're there next time, and I hope that I'll be here soon again. because I love you guys. You're always bringing the heat. I'm trying to do the same, so see you soon.
We're signing off for tonight. Artifact, thank you very much.
Man.
So for those who don't know, this is SoundZero. He's responsible for creating the anthem for Harder Than the Rest tonight. Tell everyone what went into making that. How did it start and what was the process behind finishing and getting to where you are with it?
Well, first of all, obviously, Daniel came to me and asked me would I be interested in making the anthem for the event. Obviously, I was stoked. I was like 100% I will. But he's like, hardcore? Because I make raw style and hardcore, mostly raw, but when he asked me hardcore, I'm like, yeah, I'm keen, because I haven't done a bit of hardcore in a while, so I was definitely keen on that. But then come to an agreement, do a 180, 185 BPM hardcore track. So after that, I pretty much thought of an idea. The event's called Harder Than the Rest. So I wanted to kind of implement that into the track. And I read up some vocals about it being harder than the rest. It's brutal and stuff like that. And I took the vocals to one of the guys I use for other tracks. And got him to write them up in a cinematic style. Yeah, the vocals came out really good. So that was the start. And then I started building the track around it. I wanted to go like a mainstream kind of the player Angerfist type melody style with some brutal kicks. And I just slowly built around the vocals, the melody, and then started bringing it into play. Yeah, I was really happy with the result. It took a while, actually. I just got into the real detailed stuff. I wanted to, because obviously the guys I'm playing in front of tonight, I've been listening to since I was a kid and hardcore and stuff like that. So I just wanted to really hone in and get it, best I could in the time limit. Obviously I had a time limit to do it, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it came across and how I got to, and just to be able to play in front of all these people, and them to listen to it as well, the artists here, the internationals. So yeah, it's a great thing for that Daniel asked me. I was very stoked about it, so yeah.
Yourself personally, like, who are you most excited to not only listen to tonight, but to be playing in front of? If there was one person that you could choose on this lineup.
Probably Predator, honestly. I've been listening to him since I was like 14, 13 years old. So I love my hardcore. Obviously I do raw and hardcore, but when I first started listening to this type of music, it was just, hardcore. So hardcore and Gabba and Old Millennium. So but I love my raw style as well, so don't get me wrong, but that's where I started. I started with listening to hardcore, like really old hardcore. So for me, it's probably, Predator for sure. And then maybe Cat Scan a second close.
And you produce music, obviously, for anyone who's not aware. You've been doing it for how many years?
7 years now.
7 years, cool. And where are you at with it right now?
As I went along, it's like, when I first started, the passion was really high. Obviously, you don't know what you're doing. It's just fun, like a fun thing. And then you start getting better, and you start hearing quality, and then you start going, okay. And you start getting critical of yourself. You get to a point, I reckon, halfway through, I was so critical on myself that I would never finish stuff, and I was too worried about it being perfect. So I went through a stage where the passion dropped up and down, and sometimes it was like a battle to, do I really want to do this kind of thing? But I think if you're a new producer or just starting out, just know that's normal. I think even the biggest producers have their times like that where they just hit a wall. But you just got to push through, and there's a month where you don't feel any creativity or any push for songs. But then, like, for example, for this, I've made like around 12 to 13 tracks just for this tonight. So like, everyone has them, blocks where they can't make music. So if you're a new producer, that's for you. Just keep pushing, because that's the time when you learn, and that's the time when you understand when you can't think of music or be creative, they're the times that you really learn. It's about how to get out of that rut, so that's definitely a thing for new producers. But yeah, now my passion's at a really high point. I feel like I'm starting to develop my own sound, and obviously just trying to be unique at the same time, but also give that style that everyone loves when I play. So I love to keep it pretty brutal and heavy, but also like to have some variety in there as well, so I can kind of hit every type of crowd,
And just to wrap things up, any spoilers of what's coming up for SoundZero in the future?
Definitely expect a lot of tracks, new tracks. Obviously, as I said, I've got 12 that I've got to play here tonight, so expect a lot of new tracks this year that I'm going to be pushing out, collabs as well. And I'll be looking to really push my sound, both raw and hardcore. I want to be doing both, so But yeah, 2026 definitely be a lot of tracks coming out from me. So
Well, you heard it here first, guys. SoundZero with a bunch of new tracks, some awesome stuff coming out in the future. Make sure you check out his socials. But for now, enjoy tonight.
Thanks for that,
Absolutely
man.
kill it.
Appreciate that.
My man. Thank you all again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The channel is very new, and I am looking to post more content and engage with you guys as much as possible. I do have a bunch of shows coming up, so let me know down in the comments who you would love to see me interview next, or who I should go out of my way to contact to maybe sit down and do an interview with. I hope to catch up with each and every one of you real soon.